Just kidding.
So, if the rumors are true, in the next couple of weeks, Leica will be releasing the M11V and a Q3 monochrome. Both cameras that are basically made for me, I feel like. But I have a couple of reactions to these rumors and a suggestion for Leica. First reaction is that I am so glad Leica might be making a Q3 monochrome. Previously, many folks, including Leica dealers, had told me that Leica wasn't going to do a Q3 monochrome, that you had to be happy with the Q2 monochrome. In comparing the Q3 and the Q2 and the Q2 monochrome, the Q2 monochrome feels really long in the tooth. It's operationally a lot slower, the worst autofocus is a real pain, and you really miss the flip up screen. So I actually think it's great and very much needed to make a Q3 monochrome. I really, really hope Leica makes a Q3 43 monochrome as well, as I actually think that 43 millimeter might be better suited to monochrome, or at least the way I want to shoot monochrome. Additionally, like you can get a 28 millimeter lens for the Leica M11 monochrome. They don't make a 43 millimeter, so the Q343 would be way more unique as a monochrome camera, in my opinion. But I'll take any Q monochrome camera. That's my jam. Another reaction is that the rumor says there might be a different sensor in it than like the M11 monochrome, but that makes no sense. Like, even if that's an expensive sensor, they've already developed it. They've already taken the color filter array off of it, right? They know how to do that. We'll just take them and put them in the Q3. Ostensibly, it's the same Sony 61 megapixel sensor that, is in the Q3 color, in the M11, the M11P, the M11 monochrome. So it makes no sense they would go with a different sensor. I think they'll just use the same black and white sensor that's in the M11 monochrome in the Q3, just like they did with the Q2 monochrome and the M10 monochrome. My next reaction is that I'm super psyched about the M11V. If it's true, it's about time. I've been waiting for that camera. While I like the rangefinder, my eyesight isn't that great, and I end up not using it as much as I normally would in most situations. It's good for the street, but you can't really use it in studio. In low light, it doesn't work. So I hope they come out with either a hybrid solution or an EVF that mimics that viewfinder experience, including like with a little focusing patch. But that has the benefit of the backlighting of an EVF. You can use that in low light. If it's high enough resolution, let's hope to God it's 5 point something dots at least. It's bigger than the VisaFlex 2. If they give us that, the typical Leica quality viewfinder, just take the one from the SL3. That's a perfectly good viewfinder. If they put that in there, that'll be fantastic. That's about as close as you can get to a perfect camera. I think it's very obvious if you watch my videos. I just want a rangefinder, interchangeable lens camera, ideally full frame, high megapixel, high end, and no one's made that for some reason, right? You have the ZF, which is an SLR style, not a rangefinder, low megapixel. It's like a consumer grade sensor. It's a good sensor, but it's just not a 61 megapixel class leading sensor, right? And no joystick and no sensor protector, And then you have the M11 that doesn't have an EVF, right? No joystick also, but you don't need it because it's manual focus only, I want a retro camera, interchangeable lens that has an EVF, and the M11V would fit that bill very nicely. Last reaction, where in the heck is the new medium format solution, Leica? This S3 is still my favorite medium format camera of all time, but it's totally unnecessary purchase. I bought an adapter to go with my Hasselblad X2D2, which just came, video on that coming soon. And then I have this, but this camera feels real outdated. This camera has the best color science of any camera I've ever seen. All that stuff. But man, is it slow. Like the Hasselblad and Fuji cameras, because it's a, through the lens DSLR, there's a blackout every time you take a picture. It might be quicker than the mirrorless cameras. Hasselblad has the leaf shutter, so that has an issue. I don't understand why Fujifilm has such a long blackout. It's a regular mirrorless camera, but this has all the advantages and mostly disadvantages of a DSLR. And I just think it's time that Leica updated it. And they said they were going to do it in 2025. Their chairman has said they had a medium format coming in 2025. I understand there's tariffs and all that stuff. So I could understand if they would put it off till 2026 or later. But man, I really hope they come out with something to compete with the X2D2 in that price range. Especially if you can adapt these lenses. This 100mm Summicron is sweet. And Leica, where is the medium format 2025 version? Last reaction is, please, Leica, let these rumors be true. Take my money. And then finally, a suggestion. Come out with an M11V monochrome as well, please. Just release it at the same time, you know? That way I don't have to spend my money on a Q3 monochrome. I can get the camera I really want, which would be an M11V monochrome, right? Having the EVF that you could put on black and white and see the world in black and white when you're shooting right through the viewfinder would be so clutch. M11V monochrome. Sounds good to me. So what do you think? Are you hoping these Leica rumors are true? Are you going to run out and buy the Q3 monochrome, the M11V, as soon as they're announced, like I probably will? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.